Global warming is a gradual increase of the Earth's average surface temperature due to greenhouse gases such as carbon dioxide. Climate change alters ocean chemistry, leading to ocean acidification. When carbon dioxide is released to the atmosphere, the ocean absorbs it. This decreases the ocean pH, thus making the ocean more acidic. When ocean acidification happens, the corals cannot absorb the calcium carbonate that they need to maintain their stony skeletons, which could cause them to dissolve. Climate change also leads to ocean acidification, which leads to coral bleaching. Coral bleaching happens when the ocean gets warmer, which leads to the reduction of oxygen, and thus corals become bleached. The heat effect and stress damage the algae living in the corals that leads to coral death. If the current rate of coral bleaching continues, it won't be long before the world's coral reefs will be gone. Other factors are extra bright sunlight, especially when combined with the aforementioned extra warm seawater, pollution from urban or agricultural runoff, changes in the salinity or saltiness of seawater, and sedimentation from undersea activities like dredging. Loss of food supply. A number of reef fish feed primarily on coral animals. After coral bleaching, the coral animals are replaced by algae, which may be a short-term replacement food. However, over a longer period, the basis of the food chain is lost. As a result, the fish and the invertebrates that feed on coral and the animals that feed on them in turn also die out. Loss of habitat. Coral reefs provide an intricate network of shelters, attachment sites for sessile organisms such as anemones, and breeding areas that are unusual in the ocean. They are vulnerable to erosion from the movement of water and from organisms that feed on coral skeletons. The coral skeletons do provide habitat after the corals, but without corals continuously building and rebuilding the reef gradually wears away. Extreme weather events such as hurricanes can quickly flatten areas of reef. Let me read you an article about coral bleaching hitting Hawaii and spreading to the Indian Ocean. Caused by the strong El Niño pattern, warm water called the blob brought on by climate change, which began in 2014 and will get worse by 2016. By 2015, coral bleaching was occurring in the South Pacific Ocean in areas such as the American Samoa Islands and the Solomon Islands. It has now spread further into the Indian Ocean and the Caribbean Sea, and coral bleaching has been reported in Florida, Cuba, Bahamas, Haiti, Puerto Rico, and other coastal countries. Coral in Hawaii specifically is in the worst condition scientists have ever seen. This is the only second bleaching occurrence in the Hawaii region's history. More than 93% of heat from the sun is absorbed through the ocean. Coral bleaching acts as an indicator for ocean warming. When corals are stressed by temperature changes, as well as changes in amount of light or nutrients, they expel the symbiotic algae that live in their tissues, which causes them to turn completely white or pale. The coral loses its food and nutrients. Corals can bounce back from short-term bleaching, but long-term bleaching is often deadly. The effects of coral bleaching can be minimized by ensuring that local policies like overfishing and pollution regulations are enforced.
Coral planting. Broken fragments of corals were collected earlier. These are loose corals lying around the swimming area that will just die eventually, so we rescue these corals by attaching them to a hard substrate that a coral needs in order to live and thrive. We use limestone rocks for the substrate, which Mactan is very abundant of. For the actual planting, the coral is attached to the rock firmly with the use of a tie wire. At least 2 weeks after the planted coral is delivered to the coral garden, the coral will start growing and extends to the rock. That small coral will then start building a new colony slowly. With this small activity with the guests, we are trying to increase the coral cover of the marine sanctuary and at the same time sharing the responsibility of taking care of the reef with our guests.